Welcome, Gunrunner.
Hey everybody, Q&A Kevin here, and I have another midweek book review for you. Now, those of you who follow my channel, or just follow, I suppose, gaming books in general, will probably be already familiar with the SNES Omnibus Volume 1 by Brett Weiss, letters A to M. And I reviewed that on my channel a while back, so if you haven't seen my review of that book, or you aren't aware of it already, as always, I will pop the link up here in the corner for you, so you can go and watch that video and see what it's all about. Because the book I'm reviewing today is the SNES Omnibus Volume 2, Letters N to Z, the follow-up book. So so this one follows directly on from that one. Same author, same contributors, same format, everything really the same pretty much. Slight difference in the cover. Obviously, the original idea was that it was going to be one book, but then they decided to split it into two, which was a much better idea because you can already see that these are pretty blooming big hardback books already. So I think one volume just would have been too small and wouldn't have really done what he was trying to do justice. So there we go. So what we'll do is we'll have a look through it and show you what it's all about. And one thing to comment on straight away is you'll notice that they used the American version of the SNES joypad with the horrible lilac buttons, and they went for the lilac theme on the second book, whereas the first one is the red and black, which us PAL and Japanese owners will be a bit more familiar with, using the red and black colours instead. But much nicer design. But the book originates from America. It's an American author, and it is an A to Z, obviously, and it is an A to Z of North American releases. So it doesn't include like PAL exclusives and Japanese only games either. It's purely just the games that were released officially in North America. Okay, so it's quite hard for me to lean over the camera to show you it, so I'm gonna try to keep it in frame, but it's quite difficult because the book is huge and I can barely reach it. So there we go, there's a picture of the horrible American Super Nintendo. Aren't we lucky that we got the Japanese one? So you'll see already that he uses some adverts in the book, which is quite cool. So we've got a forward there by Ben Reeves, who wrote for Game Informer magazine, but more familiar to Americans than us on this side of the pond. A preface there by the author. Another nice advert there for Plock, which was actually coded by the Pickford brothers, legendary 8-bit coders over here in the UK, especially for their Spectrum stuff. Nice guys too. So there we go. Some acknowledgements. So obviously everybody who contributed to the book. It's a bloody huge list of people who helped out, and it would take me ages to go through them all. But somewhere in that list of people there is my name, because I did contribute to both books, the first one and the second one. Although, funnily enough, because it was originally going to be one book, there was like a list, and we could say, you know, which ones we wanted to contribute, which games we wanted to contribute stories for. And as it turns out, about 90% of the ones that I wrote appeared in the first book, so I've got nowhere near as many in the second book. I had loads in the first book, and my name is actually there. So there we go. I was just looking for it. So we'll have a little look through it. I'm not going to look through the whole book, but I'll give you an idea. So obviously, straight away you see most games have one page. Some of the more notable games have more. What you get is a review of the game, basically, telling you what it's all about. Notable quotable here is stories from the press. So obviously that's a what GamePro thought of it in June 1994 issue, which is quite cool. That's can sometimes be some from books as well, because you'll see there that's talking about when it appeared in a book. You got your info box telling you who the publisher, developer, how many players it supports, what genre it is, everything like that. And also, oh yeah, I mentioned here, Insider Insights. Not all of the games have these, but a lot of them do. And that is just people in the notable people, I suppose, in the current industry. So we've got authors, YouTubers, bloggers, you know, all those sorts of people involved in the video game scene. So that's what I've contributed, is these Insider Insights, as I did on the first book. And most of these are really nice, actually, because they're personal stories. You know, when people remember buying the game in the shop, playing it around their friend's house, you know, renting it from the video store, whatever, you know, it's all things like that. So there we go. There's an example there of a more notable game that got 2 pages, NBA Live 95. I'm just going to kind of skip through it. There's a lot in the ends because of the NHL, NBA, NFL. So we've got absolutely loads under N. Out of This World, also known to us as Another World. So obviously that looks like that even might have, that was a double page for it. Like that. I'll skip through it. Peacekeepers, Paperboy 2. Prince of Persia, Pro Quarterback. So a lot of the pages have adverts on them. Some of them do as well. Some have got full page adverts, as you saw. You also get a picture of what the cartridge looked like, the box art, obviously, and screenshots of the game as well. I mean, it's got some really obscure stuff in there I hadn't heard of at all. I mean, Rap Jam, I had no idea that game even existed. And Realm, I can't say I'm familiar with either. But that Rap Jam's quite interesting because I was reading it there. Real rap stars featured as players include Coolio, Flavor Flav, Warren G, Queen Latifah, LL Cool J, and House of Pain. Brilliant. I kind of want to play that now. Yeah, you can see there, Queen Latifah. Brilliant. Robocop versus Terminator. Great game that is. PM Racing. Samurai Showdown. I'm kind of skipping right ahead. Side Pocket. Love Side Pocket. That's a favourite of mine. Great game. Sonic Blast Man 2. So yes, this gives you a good idea really of what the book's about, without spoiling it too much. I'll show you some stuff near the end in a moment as well. Super Double Dragon, that's another game I absolutely love on the SNES actually, because you can't play it on anything else. So, and I love the Double Dragon games. So actually the comment there is actually from Jeffrey Whittingen, who's actually done a SNES book of his own. So that's quite cool that he did some comments for a rival book as well. Super Mario World. Super Mario World 2. So S, as you can imagine, is super long because there's so many games on the SNES that were called Super something. Because they decided that just to call everything Super something, even if it wasn't called that on another machine. Which was a bit silly. So there we go. There's Turtles. Top Gear 2. Top Gear, lovely games they are. Ultimate Fighter. Urban Strike. So anyhow, it's called Urban Strike, the sequel to Jungle Strike, which was the sequel to Desert Strike. I'm not sure really why they needed to just to put that in the title there. Super WrestleMania. I think that's one of mine actually on there. Did they give that more than one page? Yes, they did. Royal Rumble, then Super WrestleMania. So there we go. Super WrestleMania. You can see there I did a comment, a story about my next door neighbour when he bought a SNES. That was the game he bought with it. And a story about us all playing that game with each other and then getting annoyed when we found out it had no finishing moves, which the later and far superior Mega Drive version did. So there we go, going into Y and Z, and I'll show you what's at the end. So we've got like a few articles at the end, which is quite cool. So we've got there a big article on the Super Game Boy by Zoe Howard. These are kind of guest written ones as well. A Deeper Meaning for Super Metroid by Ken Horowitz. A lot of people will be familiar with. The Super Scope and Nintendo's Romance with Games and Guns by Michael Thomason. Another cool guy, actually. And then after that, bibliography, obviously, and about the Insider Insight contributors. So there is everybody there. Again, although they're mentioned at the front, we're mentioned again at the end, who contributed to the book. And within that, it also gives like a little bio of each person. So I'm somewhere here. There we go. So there we go. There's my little bio there. So it says, you know, that I've written for Retro Gamer. I've written my own books, etc., etc. So that's nice as well. So if you want to know who more of the people are, you recognise the name, but you can't remember what they did. And then at the end, we've got the index. So every game listed what page, for those who want it. And another advert there at the end, Wolverine. And in the inside slip, there's a little bit about the author. Really great guy. And I was really pleased when he asked me to be part of this book. And just to show you what's underneath the slip, it's exactly the same. So there's no difference. And yeah, that's it really. That is the SNES Omnibus Volume 2. It's a great follow-up to Volume 1. It's not the cheapest book in the world. I'll put a link below, but there is quite often an offers going on. I know there is an offer going on at the moment, but the offer might not be on when you're watching this video, so I don't want to say that and then everyone go and look and get disappointed because it's more expensive or less or whatever. So look out for offers on the books, because I think there is a good offer, certainly at the moment, where you can buy both books together. So if you haven't got the first book, that's well worth doing. But yeah, it's available. Although I said it's an American book, it's also available in the UK. It's got a proper UK distributor, so you don't have to pay stupid import costs and extortionate postage like you do quite often when you order things from America these days. So that's a good thing. So yeah, if you love the SNES and you're a collector of the SNES as well, then this is the perfect book for you. There isn't a better book out there for the Super Nintendo. And even if you're not maybe a massive SNES fan, but you're thinking about collecting it, then again, perfect book, because it tells you so much about every game. It's a really, really great companion to the console, and well worth buying in my opinion. So I hope you enjoyed my review of the SNES Omnibus Volume 2, and I will see you all again for another video very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.